Hey guys, it's DJ Cellulegs, and this video is going to be a little special, just for you, because it's the first episode of a series. And what I want to do is basically exactly what PHIDX does in his analysis videos. If you don't know who that is, he's a professional Tekken 7 and 8 player who's been a content creator for a while. He's really gotten big, and he does these high-level match analysis videos that are really just enthralling with how in-depth and thoughtful they are in breaking down what is actually going on in the match and using that data of the match to gain insight on how to use the character or play the matchup in a better way. So I want to start doing this for some high-level DR matches. And thankfully there's actually a pretty good amount of very high-level Japanese and Korean arcade and tournament footage on YouTube across multiple different channels. The footage we'll be watching today comes from Togeki 06 Super Battle DVD Volume 2, Tekken 5 Dark Resurrection Team Battle Top 32 to 4. So this is from Super Battle Opera 2006 Team Tournament in T5DR. This is uploaded by Fight at the Opera. I'm going to link their channel below. Thank you, Fight at the Opera. It's great footage, by the way. Like, the quality is really good. This is a team tournament. Many Japanese tournaments use this format. It's 3v3, so 3 people on each team, and they play in a first to one. So each first player of the team fights. Whoever wins stays on. The loser goes off, and that losing team has two more members, right? So that's how it works. So this is Team Saitama Papi Dahyo versus Hokusetsu Ichigun, and the Ganryu you'll be watching is Gekitetsu. Which, doing a bit of wiki hunting, he seems to be a very high-level player at the time, and of course you would be if you're deep into SBO, right? So I'm going to break this video into parts on each of his matches in this set, because I think it'll get long, and it already did get long. I recorded this once, and I was muted the whole time. So we're doing this again, so hopefully it'll be a bit shorter than the first time. So I'm going to run the match once and not interrupt, and then we'll rewind back and slow things down and really pick apart the interactions. Not as much as I did the first time, because it's too long, but I'll be sure to hit the highlights. So let's start. This is Gekitetsu versus Nomokaga Nyanyan. Ganryu versus Jack 5. Let's actually start at the beginning. Okay.
Round 1. Fight.
So there's a back punch start. Hits the counter hit Horizon 2. Full combo. This windmill punch is you're gonna see this often. Hits the throw and the forward 2 on the hook.
Round 2. Fight.
One jab to start. Playing mid range. Ooh, goes to sumo pop, but gets punished. So this Jack uses windmill punch a lot. Now let's see him punish. Using that one jab effectively. Basic grab. Gets the back one counter hit. Look at that back turn.
Round 3. Fight.
Lifts the headbutt. Gets the wall rising 2. Combo 3 after him. Stays on the ground. With no punch again. Does nothing. The no mix up. No punch again. Oh, punishes string. Gets low parry. Got the down for 3. With no punch again. Get up punch. Doesn't break the low. And finishes the string.
Round 4. Fight.
With no punch again. Does nothing. Just getting run over. Another windmill punch. Hit by the string. Oh, counter hit. Back one plus 2. Gets the wall rising 2 again. Oh, wow. Wow. The barrage of lows at the end. What a match. It's a fast-paced match too. But I feel there's a lot to break down. So the first thing that's kind of interesting, right, is that Ganryu and Jack are sort of cut from the same cloth, you could say. They both have a slow, they're both slow, right? Their jabs are not 10 frames. Both of their jabs are 12 frames. They have a lot of strings that they can, or they may or may not finish. Um, they're both big. Both have big hitboxes, right? They're both slow. They're both big, and they both finish their strings, right? And they both have plus on hit lows. And they share some moves, right? The 1+2. Um, but I think they play differently, right? So let's look at the beginning of this match, because I think this is a little bit important. This move right here,
Fight.
jumping palm. I think it's a back one, and you can also do up forward one. I think this is a really good start as Ganryu. I think this is like, if you want like the quintessential safe start, up back one is a good one, because it can catch them if they're moving forward, and if they're not moving forward, then no harm, no foul. See, they're okay. So we need to look at that interaction and how he actually gets his counter hit while he does like 70%. So they're starting at mid range, right? Jack is crouching. He's moving back. He dashes forward. Well, Jack dashes forward and does down forward 4 and finishes the string. You're gonna see him use down forward 4 a lot. He's not gonna finish the string a lot, but in this case he does. And Jack ducks, right, and stands back up. And from this, look at what Gekitetsu does. Just immediate wall rising 2. Just duck, wall rising 2, and catches Jack 5 pressing a button where Jack hesitated and Gekitetsu didn't. So that's kind of interesting, right? If you think that the opponent is going to delay, and you don't delay, and you do sort of an immediate timing, you can hit the opponent, right? And from this, he gets like freaking 50%. Okay, second, he's going back into this not mid range, pretty close range, whiffs down forward 4, right? Gets hit by back one, the windmill. So this is like the best. Throughout this whole match, this is how he best deals with windmill, right? It's the down 4 and the jump back palm. And down 4 interrupts whatever move he's going for after the palm, and then this up back palm hits down forward 1, I think, or the second hit down forward 1. So that's the best he's dealt with. Windmill hits, and it does give like a nice little chunk of damage too. So keep that in mind. And then hits a throw. Throws are hard to break in this game. No shame in getting thrown. And then the forward 2 on the like catches the roll. That forward 2 is a good Oki move when the opponent's trying to do anything on the ground, right?
Round 2.
Round 2.
Fight. 1.
Switching a lot, staying in this mid range. Misses the sumo pop, and you'll see he doesn't do the sumo pop the rest of this match. Doesn't hit it once, and he doesn't try it again. That's something I think can be important. Sometimes if you miss a move or you get punished, you want to keep doing it. Other times with certain moves, like for example sumo pop, when the Jack 5 shows that he's ready to see that animation and hit it, Gekitetsu knows, okay, he's on his toes. I'm not just gonna get that off unless he really whiffs some big high, and I go under it. I catch his timing a bit better, but I can't just do it for free, right? And no punches again. See, he does immediate down 4-2 that time. Last time he did a down 4 and it caught Jack doing something. This time Jack didn't do anything, and Gekitetsu did an immediate down 4-2, and then Gekitetsu does an immediate was it 2-1 or 1-2 to not get his turn taken again, and then they back to mid range. Whiffs down 4-4 again. See how often he's whiffing down 4-4? He's not finishing it, right? He's sticking it out there, sticking out his gut for the Jackler. Punishes the down 4-2, and then check this out. You should always be doing this. Down 4-3. That is something you should really take from this video as Ganryu. If you get a a 2-1 punish, you should do down forward 3 after. I don't care if you've already done it once, just do it again. And you'll see the situation comes up again, you'll see what happens. But I'll give a caveat when that happens. So a down forward 3 after 2-1 punish, I think, is a very good sequence by Ganryu because it's your turn again after down forward 3. Unless what he does after down forward 3. He does down forward 4. You know, it's the world's your oyster. He has enough time to do down forward 4. Jack was a bit out of range, but I think if he would have finished the string here, it would have counter hit because I think Jack is probably doing like 4 crouch down for 1. Yeah, I think that's what he's doing. And then hits the forward 2-1. Now look how fast that was. Like that forward 2-1 actually comes out really fast. Like, and then he does immediate down +2, and then into. Sorry, let me just play that back again. So whiffs forward 2-1, down +2, 1 jab. So he takes his plus frames, right? But just for a jab. And, you know, it does a little bit of damage. It's plus on hit. But look, if it was blocked, it's still +3. You know, it's 1 jab, just the 1 jab Ganryu. I think it's really good. And Geki Tetsu uses it a lot in this match. Running 3. You should be using running 3 as Ganryu. Because Ganryu's other plus on block moves, frankly, they just aren't as good as running 3, except maybe down 1 +2. But I think, you know, running 3 is just good, you know. 1 +2. Breaks the third, Jack breaks the third. Let me just play this. This is fantastic. So what happens here? Let's roll this back. And sudden edit. Okay, sorry about that. I got lost in the clip for like 2 minutes and it was bad, so sudden edit. I'm back. We're going over the part where he gets a back 1 counter hit. So as you can see, he ends up hitting, I think he hits... I'll slow it down. So he's ducking. He's going for a back 1, right? Geki Tetsu. And he went for windmill punch, I can tell. And then look what he does with the back 1. He doesn't finish the string, right? He does freight train combo down forward 1-4-1, and the down forward 1 into down 4. I mean, a down forward 4. Geki Tetsu just spams down forward 4, and it works. Like, it works perfectly fine. Great move.
Round 3. Fight.
This the headbutt, and let me check this wall rising 2, because Geki Tetsu also like always hits his wall rising 2s. So let's see how he hits this one, right? Oh, that's not right. Okay, so he whiffs the headbutt, and then Jack had backed up and is doing a jab right here. And by the time Jack even does the jab, Geki Tetsu's already doing the wall rising 2. And I think he's doing this like because he can. Like, I don't think Jack can punish the rising 2, so I think he's just letting it fly. And you know, he's kind of hoping, hey, I whiffed this headbutt. Now what I do? Well, let's hope he's pressing a button because I whiffed, or because you know it's his turn now, sort of. So I'm just gonna throw out my safe launcher against Jack and hope it hits. And in this case, it does. And I'm not sure if that's because Jack's hitbox is just bigger, or Rogers 2 has like some really good range, but that felt like a very far hit. Combo, running 3 again for plus range, does the windmill punch again, and you know Geki Tetsu didn't do anything there. He didn't step, anything. But as you can see, as he comes up from here, what's he pressing again? Wall rising 2. You know, I think this is because he understands the risk reward. He's not risking that much, and he gets a lot of reward. Sorry, let's just let it play. He gets a jab punish, gets low parried on the down forward 3. Now, I'm gonna go on a light little tangent, getting parried, getting low parried on down 4-3 is, in my opinion, is actually good if you're playing Ganryu, and not for my thing, oh, these legs, how can getting low parried be good? In my opinion, it's because you've successfully skewed the opponent's risk reward in your favor as Ganryu if they're going for a low parry on your down 4, and when they're expecting a down 4-3. First off, uh, crouch blocking is better than low parrying a down 4-3, and pretty much all of Ganryu's lows, because most of Ganryu's lows are launch punishable. So usually you're going to get more off of a low block than a low parry. Second, Gekitetsu has been throwing out down forward 2s and wall rising 2s all day, and instead of stand blocking and waiting for a down forward 2 after it's punished, something like that, he chooses to low parry. And so he's risking not having to take 17 damage from a low, from a plus on block low, versus getting launched for 50. And so I think this shows where if you pepper down forward 3 enough, people are another player is not going to want to get hit by it 3 times for sure within a round. It's just too much damage to take, and so now his risk reward is skewed. Oh, he's got 2-1. I'm gonna low parry just in case he down forward ones. I mean, my health is really low, but look, if he wouldn't have, if Gekitetsu would have down forward 2'd, Jack probably would be dead, or very, very, very close. So that was a big risk, and he took this Jack 5 probably took this big risk because of the threat of the constant chip from the down forward 3. Especially because the situation that happened before, right? I showed you before, same thing, 2-1 punish and down forward 3. So this time the Jack was ready, but this is also a good opportunity to mix it up in this scenario where instead of going for the down forward 3, you go for a mid. Okay. Then Limbo Punch again, and I'm gonna edit on how to deal with that. And then he finishes the 1+2, right? And this is the glory of 1+2. Now he put it in his head, hey, I finished a string. And it's unsafe on block. 1+2 is also unsafe, I learned. It's not very unsafe, but it's kind of like his health was low enough where he might as well have just ripped it. And now maybe the Jack will think twice about pressing anything after the first 1+2.
Round 4. Fight.
So in this part, he's kind of just getting run over, right? And the only thing I can really say is like to punch pairing. And in my first recording of this, I talked about punch parry like constantly, so I'm trying not to harp on it too much. But I think it is important in this matchup, and I'll talk about that in the addendum after the match analysis. But he's really getting tore up by these windmill punches, right? And he's not really walking or anything like that. I think you really need to sidestep as Ganryu, because you can't jab your way out of these situations, right? You can headbutt though, which I think he might be about to. See? That's where he headbutts. Okay, so he extends the jab string, right? Which we haven't seen him do. I think that's his first time doing it. And then as soon as he does it, right, he's not punishable, but he's minus a good amount, and he goes for the 10 frame and gets the counter hit. Right, so that, and we haven't seen him. We saw him use headbutt one other time this match, right? So that's the time to use headbutt when you haven't used it much, and you can tell the opponent's not expecting a counter hit. They're gonna go on some immediate timing, and you get a nice, good chunk of change off of it, right? Roasted down 4-4 again. He's trying to control that space, and we gotta see this. I think this is wall rising 2. The down 4-2 and wall rising 2 looks so like, But yeah, I went over this on the first run too. So he gets hit by down back 1. Jack is plus in this situation. I think he's +3. And what does Gekitetsu do? First, what does Jack do? Sidesteps. Gekitetsu Okay, I think that has to be just down forward 2. So I'm not sure if this down forward 2 has tracking, but actually I think Jack was going for a move, so Jack did down back 1, immediate sidestep, like either down forward 1 or down forward 2, and then Gekitetsu did um, on hit, immediate down forward 2. Um, so if Jack would have just sidestepped and not done a button, I think the sidestep would have evaded. But instead he did sidestep button, and so the sidestep didn't go as far. And then also, I think the down forward 2 just it just beat the button. Anyways, combo, and then when he needs to bring it out. When you need to bring it out, the down forward 2-3 will bring you far. Because check out this chunk of change, bro. He's about to get off this. Full crouch, 1+2. And I'm pretty sure this is guaranteed. Ooh, God. Let me wind it back a second. Okay. Do you see how much health he has? Now watch how much of it goes away. Boom. Boom. I mean, come on. You pull it out when you need to, right? And then to the creme de la creme, check this out. Kabuki Palm from a billion light years away. Let's roll it back. Let's see how far away he is when he Kabuki Palms. He Kabuki Palms right here. This is where he starts the animation. Look how far away he is. And, what did I say in my first video of my Ganryu discussion? I said Kabuki Bomb is a long-range chip blow you use when you want to end the round. And what does Gekitetsu does here? The exact thing I mentioned. Bam! Look how far away that is. Great low. And great way to end a round as Ganryu. Do this often. People aren't expecting the low from range 3, right? So let me do sort of an overview. I think I have some notes here. 1 second. Okay, so overall match notes. Ganryu Jack, I feel like it's a winning matchup for Ganryu. Jack is a lot easier to deal with than some other characters because he also has slow buttons, right? But he has long reach, so you need to play in Ganryu's zone, which is right at their feet, right? Jack can really dominate Ganryu in the mid range, I think. Jack can give Ganryu some trouble though with his down back 1, because again Ganryu doesn't have good low crush, but then again neither does Jack. Ganryu, I think his punch parry is really really good in this matchup, like really really good, especially against like Jacks that want to just whiff their strings and finish the string and hope you run into it. Like it's amazing. And then Gekitetsu himself. Just stuff that he did really well was with punishing with Wall Rising 2. His down forward 4s like missed a lot, but he never gets punished for them. So I think he's just really good at spacing, and he also never finishes them, which is important. He down forward 3s. I'd say a medium amount of times, not a ton, but definitely not at all. He never does down forward 3s twice in a row. I think doing down forward 3 twice in a row is actually kind of good. And I'm not gonna elaborate on that like completely, but I think if somebody gets hit by down forward 3 twice in a row, it kind of breaks their brain, and it makes them really, really, really wanna crouch block. And so I think it can be good to pepper in some double down forward 3s, but Gekitetsu doesn't do any double down forward 3s during this match. He also doesn't do any 4-4-2, any other grab. I think maybe he whiffs it once. But he doesn't use it. I think it's because it's unsafe on block, but still it's a very good move that he doesn't use often. And then he never uses down forward 1 except when he back 1-1-1 or back 1 counter hit, which I thought was really interesting. He uses down forward 4 a lot, but he never used down forward 1 except in that moment. And the reason I think why, I guess, is just because of the range. Down forward 1 has really, really low range. You have to be right on him. So I think that's why he was just, it's less risky. I guess, to whiff down forward 4 at a medium distance than it is to whiff down forward 1. I don't know. I'm still a little bit puzzled. Put it in the comments what you think, though, because I'm genuinely interested. And now I'm going to make that addendum to show how Ganryu deals, can deal with jack strings. Okay. What's up, guys? JCL is back. And so here I'm just going to show you some specific things I wanted to mention, kind of related to the match that we saw. We saw the jack whip a lot of strings, especially like this down forward 1 string, this string right here. Please stop. I want to show you, like, Tekken didn't really do this, but I think this is good to do, right? When Jack whiffs, actually he doesn't even have to whiff. You can punch him. He doesn't have to whiff. And so if you have a Jack that wants to continue, that's fine, let him continue. You can even get hit by the first 2 hits. And still, well, if I can do it. Maybe not. There we go. See, I mean, you can even get hit by the first 2 hits and still punch parry if a Jack wants to do. And same goes for all of these, right? It's all sort of similar strings, right? They're gonna all be punch parried. And then same thing, and we saw the Jack do this a lot, right? Let me find it. Windmill punches. How many times did Jack do windmill punches? There's a bunch, right? Because they're hard to punish. And the Jack didn't finish the string. He never did the high. And here's the thing: if you block the first, I'm mashing parry here. Can't parry. I can't parry any of the moves. You can parry the high. Well, I said you can parry the high. Here's the thing: if he whiffs the windmill punch, it's the same as the others. You can parry. And it's a bit hard. Well, I was doing it pretty good. Come on. There we go. Okay, so maybe it's not as easy as I make it out to be, right? But it's something that you can do in the matchup. And I feel like Jacks like to do these kind of moves a lot, and certainly that Jack in that match did, right? And now it's a good Jack. So, just something I wanted to add for the matchup itself. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. Bye. And please leave a comment, leave a like, subscribe. I know this video is a bit long. I'll have to not make it as long. I can more sort of get my thoughts out quicker. But I really hope you enjoyed, and I'm excited to make more.